Welcome to Useless Agent. This program is not meant for children of any age. Enjoy my nightmares.
It's that JC.
Okay, let's do this.
Enjoy it. Stop crying. I'm just a city guy, living fly, getting high. Living till I die, getting by, whipping by. Staying solidified, big time to be precise. Here's your ticket, ride, follow if you feel my vibe. I'm just a city guy, living fly, getting high. Living till I die, getting by, whipping by. Staying solidified, big time to be precise. Here's your ticket, ride, follow if you feel my vibe.
Smile on your face. Nobody give a fuck about 40. Nobody remember 40. And y'all niggas just giving me way too many 40-degree days. What the fuck?
Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, isn't that beautiful? How's it going, party people? My beautiful starflies. I don't know if you guys got to see that, so I'm gonna take myself out again. Now, I'm terrible at taking photos, so I'm really proud of how that photo came out. I have like the worst shaky hands because of nerve disorders, but basically I had to rest my head on the phone to keep it stable, and then I try to go as limp as possible, but my hand just naturally does that. So, yeah. I mean, that bud right there is just gorgeous. It's fucking beautiful. And so, yeah, this episode is brought to you by Strawberry Cough and some Perps. Oh, God, I love that shit. So, recently, what I've been experimenting with is infusing my bud. So, I have a friend who makes specific bud oils, and she also makes very condensed bud oils. And so the THC content, of course, is a very good level. So what I do is take the concentrated bottle and take about 4 or 5 drops and then place them into each nugget. And then open my jar, let the oils kind of saturate and then dry up. Now, I have noticed a huge difference in my bud right away from the initial hit to the final draw of the night. I sleep like a fucking baby now, at least for the first half of the night. I used to always wake up around midnight. So now I'm noticing I don't wake up till at least 3:30, and that's my fault. I drink a lot before I go to bed. I tend to drink a lot of water, and so you're gonna go to the restroom a lot. So if you are a bud smoker and you're just looking to, spice shit up, and if you have the oils available around you, just dab it in there. It doesn't change the taste at all, and yeah, I really enjoy it. Man, it fucked up my episode yesterday though. So damn stoned I couldn't fucking remember what the hell I was supposed to end the episode with. So yeah, my apologies about that one. Okay, fuck off. All right, so today's episode we're talking about female typecasting, and yes, we're talking about the Bible. So I did not want to put that in the title because last time I did that, everybody ran from the fucking episode. So trying to like slide it in, okay? Basically, the overall point here is that we start noticing the trends in the Bible that is supposedly written by God. But if this was written by God, then he definitely did not create all humans the same. And we were always meant to treat women and, I don't know, people with lesser status. I mean, what is a slave, really? It's just a human being without power that gets forced to do free labor. So, yeah, I guess, in the Bible, slavery and fucking slavery, rape, and all sorts of just really fucked up shit against women are totally okay. And let's remember that this is Old Testament, New Testament, and we're going to notice that there's a lot of the similar writing. So mainly within, I think it was Genesis 39. And so when you get into Judges and then Genesis, you notice that they have a lot of similarities. So let's start off with going over to the Sodom and Gomorrah story, because this really nails my point. And I think Dark Matter 2525 probably does the absolute best job of showing you the kind of just the patterns that we see in, to any non-biased viewer that's just reading into the Bible. You're going to see a lot of really weird shit. So, let's just jump right in, because this is pretty fucked up. It's pretty hilarious. Now, I love this channel. I love this fucking show.
Why, hello there, kind stranger. Where are
Right, Judges 19. Now, before you even get into it, you should know that Judges 19 and Genesis 19 are almost verbatim the same fucking story. And so this is where reboots, prequels, sequels all come into play. And the guy that makes these videos is, honestly, he should be given some sort of Peabody Award or anything for helping out the human race by making these videos.
thou headed? We art headed home in the country. Nobody hath taken us in for the night, and we have all that we need, so we ended up here in the square for the night.
Now,
Surely
right away, this story starts off with a couple going in and meeting in Sodom Square and being told you're going to get butt raped. And it's
bad will happen to us in the square. No, that's actually not the best idea, for thee might roll over in thy sleep, exposing thy buttocks to unwelcome penetration. My lord, I implore you. My place, slumber party. Very well, I guess we'll slumber at thy pad.
It is good you have visited. Thou art most welcome to stay at my crib for the night.
Nah, we're good. We shall chill in the square for the night. Surely nothing bad would happen to us in Sodom Square.
No, that's not actually the best idea, for thee might roll over in thy sleep, exposing thy buttocks to unwelcome penetration. My lords, I implore you. My place, slumber party.
Very well. I guess we'll slumber at thy pad.
Yo, old man, bring out that fine specimen of man meat who are in thy house. We are feeling awfully rapey tonight.
No! Don't do this evil thing! Look! Thou can have my guest's concubine and my daughter, who is still a virgin. Gang rape.
No, they're saying gang rape them instead. And this is, again, definitely in the Bible. And what's crazy is that this is told twice. The same story is told exactly the same twice. And if you go ahead and Google search it, check out the results, you're going to get a lot of Bible study groups trying to tell you what the meanings are. I skip that shit and go right over to the Reddit comments, because these are people that, some of them are Bible scholars that write this shit in and really want to push that forward, because the average person that goes into Bible studies, that goes into really studying it, they always come out the other side atheist. And every time there's a religious kind of religious bias that a person gets in and tries to go into these studies thinking, they're going to keep their love for this religion throughout. And whenever they tend to go into these actual studies, that person will laugh and say, yeah, we'll see how you feel on, in a year. And you look at, the genetically modified atheists, holy Kool-Aid. There are tons of atheists and agnostic channels, and they all say the same thing. I was a Christian that learned the Bible. So why is it that it's the very book that is, the end all be all of godliness, and yet that's the exact same book that drives every intelligent person away from the Bible, because they start noticing the languages. Everything can be marked down by language. We can get a time period by the words that we use, because as we grow, we get new words. So you're not going to hear certain words, I don't know, think of the word like tubular or badass. You're not going to find that in a Bible, because no one ever called someone a badass. At the time, an ass was just a donkey. So the verbiage in a Bible is absolutely crucial to its meaning. And you get so many greased pigs that'll try to get, they're slime their way out of shit. But when you watch Dark Matter 2525, I love that they put everything in a contemporary script, so everyone speaks to where you will understand them. They won't speak in biblical terms, and people automatically will start taking that less seriously. And that's pretty stupid, because the language within the Bible is not contemporary. It's very it can be easily misconstrued. It's very cryptic. And so by breaking things down by how we speak today, makes things more direct, easier to swallow, and easier to understand than, there's one part in Ezekiel. There's a phrase in Ezekiel, and it said that she lusted after these men whose genitals were swollen like donkeys, and whose emission was that of horses. So she wanted to fuck a dude with donkey balls and a horse dick. I mean, hey, to each their own, right? Whatever.
Rape them instead. My treat.
Yo, Lot, bring up those fine specimens of man meat who
Now
are
we're starting to notice that in Genesis 19, they're the exact same story. So Jeffrey goes up to ask God, what the fuck?
And demanded to rape his guest, so the old man offered his virgin daughter and the guest's concubine to rape instead, neither of which they wanted.
Yeah?
It's the same story.
So, that's Judges 19. Judges 19 doesn't seem at all familiar to you?
Nope.
Oh, come on. Genesis 19?
This is genius.
Sodom and Gomorrah? Your angels waited in the town square until an old man offered them shelter. Then a bunch of dudes surrounded his house and demanded to rape them. So the old man offered his virgin daughters to be raped instead, neither of which they wanted.
Okay, you got me. It's just that the prequels were so lackluster. And I just...
Prequels?
Yeah. The origin story, the flood, the Tower of Babel.
Those were the Sodom and Gomorrah prequels?
Yeah. And they brought in a decent audience, sure, don't get me wrong, but people love that Sodom and Gomorrah shit. And I'd kind of like to do some sequels, recapture that magic.
But
I love that he wants to capture that rape magic that was in the original. I mean, to put this in a Marvel allegory, like with the same mindset as like a Marvel producer, it makes sense. It makes sense because we have to rely on the past to show us the future, and you see the exact same things. Remember that in essence, I think the Bible was meant for entertainment values. At this point, it really is just entertainment. But even then, I think it was meant to be both educational and entertainment. And by mixing both of it, you come out with a really sloppy ass narrative that we seem to be following or disfollow. I really don't understand it. Now, what I love is, well, obviously I love this show, but they do another one for King Solomon, basically turning him into Jeff Goldblum from Jurassic Park. So it is pretty fucking brilliant that they reenact the scene, of course, from Jurassic Park about plastic lunchboxes and the idea of playing God, which was the entire point of Jurassic Park. So the similarities are there. It's not that far-fetched to put Jurassic Park in with King Solomon. It's really not that different within the storylines, because in both cases you want a guy to be a god. And King Solomon had asked God for all this wisdom. And we know that wisdom does not come from anything other than experience and learning throughout time. It takes time to gain wisdom. But King Solomon simply asked for it. And this directly contradicts the idea of free will, because if you were to just zap somebody with experience and wisdom, well, then you don't have free will. That means your mind is always up there, up for grabs, if anyone wants to manipulate it, and they happen to be some sort of deity. So, yeah, I think that's a pretty good explanation of what's going on.
Merchandising is where it's at.
Look at how you're using your so-called God-given wisdom. Solomon, I'll tell you the problem with the power you're using here. It didn't require any discipline to attain it. You prayed, as others done, and you took the next step. You didn't earn the knowledge for yourself, so you don't take any responsibility for it. You stood on the shoulders of God to accomplish something as fast as you could, and before you even knew what you had, you patented it and packaged it and slapped it on a plastic lunchbox, and now you're selling it. You want to sell it.
I like it. I gotta know, what is your name, little one?
Jeffrey?
Jeff! Something about that name just rolls off the tongue.
All right, we get it, Jeff Goldblum. We get it. So now we're going to move on to the amount of sacrifices he did. Now, in one part of the story, there's 142,000 animals, according to First Kings. And yeah, that's pretty fucked up, man. That's a lot of food that people could have eaten. And can we even do that now? Can you even find 142,000 animals and then just stack them up on top of each other? Some of these situations are so goddamn ridiculous that I love how Jeffrey says, this has to be the dumbest bullshit I've ever heard, because these situations don't happen. They just don't happen. People don't fucking do this shit. Now, King Solomon is also the same one that said cut the baby in half, and the way that he looks at it is the way it is. So Dark Knight is a great job.
20,000 sheep and goats.
Well, looks like he's rubbing the proverbial genie's lamp again. I guess you better go and grant him another wish.
Yep.
And don't you think it's a bit primitive that the creator of the universe has to communicate this way? I mean, give the guy a Skyphone 7 or something.
Yeah, or
Jeffrey,
walkie-talkie or
the
something.
act of sacrificing is a gesture of gratitude, loyalty, and commitment to me. I can't get that out of a Skyphone 7 or whatever.
You don't need to get anything at all,
Yeah.
actually, because you already know the hearts of all men, right?
Yeah, sure, the sacrificing isn't all that necessary, because, yeah, I do know the hearts of all men. But, yeah, damn, I love me some barbecue.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not available at the moment, but if you leave your name, number of sacrifices...
See, so the idea of contemporizing the dialogue is is fucking genius. It helps you really break everything down so that way everything is not put in these ambiguous terms so you don't have to deal with it. Now we're going to move on to King Solomon after he gains all of this wisdom, after God has given him all this bullshit. Now the guy has made two fucking, giant things, what's it called? Like palaces. So he builds one for God and one for himself. Of course, his looks nicer than the one he built for God. And God, being the jealous Madonna that he is in the story of the Bible, he's gonna get pissed off because of women. Now, this is where the actual topic up there comes into play, because this is always how they make women out to be in the Bible. Now, recently, Marjorie Taylor Greene had put out a tweet that had said that Christian girls need to start dressing more conservatively because we don't want to tempt our Christian brothers to fall. So first off, it's really weird to call your lover your sibling. That's fucking weird. All right. So you're just saying that you want to go and fuck your brothers. Because, don't call it that. And then you are saying we wouldn't want to slip up our brothers. So it's my fault that he raped me because I'm pretty? Like, that's literally the mindset that this freak has because of primitive bullshit like this. And I'm sorry, but no fucking God would allow this. And this is why I have to believe God's a woman. Because if there was a God that could create such beauty, it wouldn't come from a man. I know that. it's just how it is. And if we're made on that image and that likeness, then we're definitely worshiping a female. Hence, mother, whatever.
Tales of your incredible fame and wisdom.
So she
has come to test you with the most difficult, most ingenious questions ever asked of any man.
Thank you, Morgan.
Difficult questions aside, I'm quite honored and flattered to just come and see me. Please, Queen Sheba, be my guest.
How much would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck would?
A woodchuck.
He's really good at that.
Woodchuck as much wood as a woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck could. Chuck. Wood.
Okay, now we see the bitterness, the anger, and jealousy. Now we see the anger, and bitter jealousy of a prima donna, selfish, sociopathic, chauvinistic, just hellspawn of a deity that we're supposed to call God. See how angry he's getting at the women, not particularly at Solomon. And so he's going to say that Solomon's worshiping false gods. And this starts that bullshit narrative. And Jeffrey really points it out here.
Damn it, Solomon. I've appeared to you twice, yet you still turn from me, frolicking with all your wives and worshipping other gods.
Right. So the wisest man in the Bible met God in person twice and still ended up worshipping other gods. Interesting.
Never underestimate the power of Punani, Jeffrey.
That's goddamn right.
That's goddamn right.
700 wives and 300 concubines is a bit excessive, Solomon. Biblical marriage is supposed to be between one man and one woman. How do you think it makes me look when the man I've made the wisest person of all time ends up in a marriage of 1,000 people?
One man, one woman.
See how he's trying to say that you need to lead by example. But if the Bible were to be leading by example, then it contradicts the whole point.
I refuse to believe that you aren't familiar with the concept of attraction.
Enough! You've allowed these wicked foreign women to turn you away from me. And you need to be punished for that. I'll keep things together while you're alive, but after that, the kingdom will be torn out from under your son and broken apart.
Wait, so you're gonna punish Solomon's son and the rest of the kingdom because you're mad at Solomon?
Yeah? So?
And you're blaming it all on wicked foreign women?
See a pattern here?
So?
Huh. You know, Job's wife encouraged Job to curse God. Rebecca was a conspirator.
Remember, with Job's wife, she kept saying, why are you praying to someone that's ruining your life? And so there's always a female to destroy the male.
Leah and Rachel deceived Jacob. Samson's wives backstabbed him. Lot's daughters got Lot drunk so that they could have sex with him. Eve tricked Adam into eating the forbidden fruit.
Get to the point, Jeffrey.
The point, God, is that every time there's some righteous man in the Bible who has God's favor, there's a pretty good chance he'll be undone by a wicked woman.
Jeffrey, it's called a hierarchy. God is the best, men are second best, and women are shit.
God, a great many people will believe that the Bible is inerrant. They're going to use those books as a justification to treat women like shit, like property. Not only that, but you're punishing Solomon's son, who had nothing to do with Solomon's transgressions.
And let's keep in mind that there still are effects right now in places like North Korea, where they will not just punish you, but the next 5 generations, I believe. And it's for certain cases. So, yeah, this did influence human action.
Examples like these will be followed throughout history, punishing people for the things their ancestors did, which is A, entirely beyond their control, B, totally unjust, and C, completely unknown to the actual transgressors because they would long since be dead when these so-called punishments are carried out. I mean, you're supposed to be omnibenevolent and omniscient. You can't possibly be this dumb and unjust.
I could see why some of the other angels took him for snobby. He didn't
Shawshank
have a
Redemption.
quiet way about him, talking back to God in a way that just wasn't normal around here. And God sometimes wore an invisible coat just to avoid the little shit.
I fucking love this shit. And so we live in a country that wants this to be the law of the land, and it always has wanted this to be the law of the land. It's been up to people like, us, people with actual fucking intelligence, to say, no, church and state need to be separate, because if we were to live by this book, we would treat everyone like shit that doesn't have a dollar, more than I do. And this entails more status, more bullshit. And so this is why, if you read the Bible, slavery is totally okay. Female slavery is absolutely okay. Humans are property in the Bible. I don't give a fuck what testament you're reading. And all you need to do is a simple Google search, and you'll find out what you need to know. And all you needed to know in the first place was not to read the fucking book, and to just love the librarian instead, who will guide you to a better book that might actually change your life and make you want to go do something. Because trust me, if you end up with a Bible, you're just going to end up confused and fucking angry all the time. And if you need any proof, go to the South. Look at how these people live. Look at how they judge every single person that isn't a part of their family, and yet give the lowest standards down to people that they think are standing up for them. It makes no sense, and this is exactly what anyone would want if they wanted to control another human being. So another thing you have to remember is that America did not invent slavery, sure, but America was the most brutal to their slaves. We had rules that other countries didn't. Europe had certain qualifications for slaves to basically grow out of slavery, And I mean, that's still disgusting, but it was something. Americans, no, they would kill them, rape them, beat them. Like they were extra brutal in what they did. And knowing that all of this ideology came from this fucking book is enough to make you say, maybe I should just go read 50 Shades of Grey. If I want to fucking read a book that's making me want to go kill myself, yeah, I think I'll just go stick with that. So, yeah, it makes no fucking sense. So now let's switch gears and segue our way into the next topic, which is actually some good news. And a Memphis man won a lawsuit against discrimination and ageism. They try to fire him after 39 years on the fucking job. And this is the DuPont fucking family. So, of course, they're going to do shit like this. You have to remember, DuPont family also helped pay for the fucking Nazis, helped pay for a lot of the fucking war. And these are the type of people that are on both sides of the war, so that way they always collect.
Man who says that he was fired because of his race and age is awarded a major settlement in federal court. WRG's Alex Coleman tells us about the verdict and the message he hopes it sends.
I was vindicated. I was definitely vindicated.
Seated next to his attorney, Victor Body is celebrating what could be called a David versus Goliath courtroom victory.
Yeah, again, we got to bring up the Bible.
I couldn't just, I didn't cheer or nothing. I just was stunned.
Body had been an employee for 39 years.
Now, before we hear all that, did you hear that? I was just stunned. That's because he's so used to the gears of justice not turning for anyone that color or his race or people with that name. Like, this is the fucking world we still live in. And what's sad is this story is actually more than 5 years old. But the reason why I'm showing it is because nobody else seemed to. I never heard of this shit. And if we heard more fucking good news, maybe we wouldn't be in such a goddamn bad mood all the time. So I want to hear this guy out.
Was stunned.
Body had been an employee for 39 years with the Chemours Company, a spin-off division of DuPont Chemicals.
I had goals. I had a plan on leaving at a certain time in my life. But, you know, when it happened, then I knew I had to adjust.
His attorney, Ralph Gibson, says Body was fired for unjustified reasons.
The reasoning was that he had taken a shower, which put him out of his alleged work area, but the jury didn't buy that.
They sued the company.
So 39 years of working at the same company, and the guy they try to fire the guy for taking a shower outside of his area? Does any of that? Of course a fucking jury wouldn't buy that. But what's more important is that the justice got served. Now, let's keep in mind people like, I think her name was Jennifer Harris. She was the one that won the case against FedEx for being fired discriminately. And so when she won the case, the judge stepped in saying that's too much money. So rather than her winning something like $366 million, they gave her about 1% of that. And it should have been fucking global news. It should have been on every goddamn newspaper saying racist judge steps in to fuck over black woman. That's what I would have put out if I owned the fucking Chicago Tribune. That's exactly what I would have put out, because that's exactly what happened. Now, in this case, this man won. Nobody got in his fucking way saying, hey, 12 million? Come on, man, you're not going to live that long. And this lady that won the FedEx case was younger. So, oh, God damn it.
For age and race discrimination.
You have a 39-year employee who's given his life to this company and its predecessor, DuPont, and they essentially just out with the trash and don't even give him a chance to continue working there and retire.
And this is the same, group, these DuPont families, the Rockefellers, all these motherfuckers that have all this money, they're supposedly behind the Illuminati. How in the fuck are all these Trumpers going with this fucking guy, knowing that this is the fucking shit he wants, especially when it comes down to the black voters and all these the black Hispanics for Trump, all this shit. Stop it. Why do you want this kind of authoritarianism and corporatism? Now, when it comes down to Biden, I'm not fucking happy with him, but god damn it, we're going places. We're doing better. That's all that matters. Am I happy with the dude? Man, I'm never happy with the dude, but I'm happy with the policies. So if the policies continue, yeah, I want to continue the trend. And I'll say this again, I give America the benefit of the doubt that in come crunch time, they do know what affects their wallet. And when they get that red and blue choice, I think that they will be practical and go, shit, man, I'll just tell everybody I voted for him. You know, and I think we've been seeing that for the last 4 years. And so I'm not too worried about it. But the idea that, you know, riots and all that, it's the retaliation that I worry about, because there's going to be retaliation no matter what. And we have to fucking accept that. These little fuckers are not going to take a fucking L like a man. They're not going to take it like a woman. They're going to take it like a bitch. And so look at fucking Trump when he knew he was going to lose. He was already talking about bullshit and fucking fraud in the system before there was even votes out. So this is what they're going to do. They're going to assess the narrative and then start pushing it and pushing it. So, yeah, I'm going to let Coach D finish that off after this.
With dignity.
A jury handed down 2 verdicts, awarding Buddy $12 million in damages.
It's been going on a while, really. And it was just like a big weight just came, was lifted off my shoulders.
Now they hope other companies get the message.
It's also a deterrent for other companies. When they see this type of verdict, those companies will be more careful in how they treat their employees in the future.
And I think that's really where I wanted to leave him, because that's what matters. That's the shit that actually matters. But I guarantee you didn't see that story when it came out. And there's also a really good YouTube channel I want to recommend. Check out Police Activity. Don't fucking report them, you fuckers. They do some really good shit. They show you some dash cam footage, and I mean, it's pretty fucking cool. I mean, you gotta fucking reload the page and click the I wish to carry on, which always means, hey, you're gonna see something good. And so, yeah, if you're into that shit, like me, go watch it. It's fun. We don't have fucking, what's that called? You know, best gore anymore. So, what else? Where am I supposed to get my gore at? If anybody knows, please just message me or something. All right. So now we're going to mention Coach D, and he's going to go ahead and fact check the, we made this topic, or I'm sorry, I made this connection before with the Key and Peele joke about the black conservative monolith, and Coach D really nails it down on this, so I'll just let him do it.
D speaks with the Midas Touch Network. So Tim Scott, who, mark my words, will soon be seen holding an umbrella over Donald Trump in the rain, is being thrown out in front of crowds of white Republicans to continue the lie of all the great things Donald Trump did for black people. And the craziest thing about this is that the people in that crowd, they would be against Donald Trump if he actually did all these things for black people. So let's listen to Tim Scott tell the lie about all the money Donald Trump gave to HBCU.
Now, I love that he mentions that, because if you were to say that in a different context, and if you were to say that Biden did this, they would have started booing. This is the back and forth bullshit that they keep flip-flopping on. Now, recently somebody had a joke they put out from some Italian show, and it's been on TikTok a lot. And people are saying, look, Italians fucking hate Biden. Again, just because you saw some Italians make some satire, you think that means hate? I'm pretty sure they were just making jokes. You know, sometimes we make fun of things that we like just because it's funny. And we're not little bitches, and we can take a fucking joke. true.
And on top of that, who's the president who brought the most money in for historically black colleges and universities? Donald Trump.
First of all, just to reiterate, this is all a lie. Yep. But facts don't matter to these people. No. The only thing that matters to them is what they can convince their easily manipulated followers to believe. But this all stems from Donald Trump having the gall to go out and lie and say that he saved HBCUs.
My administration has also made historic investments in historically black colleges and universities. I saved HBCUs. We saved them. They were going out and we saved them.
Now, notice that he's like waiting for an applause, but you're at the WEF, bro. They don't fucking give a shit. And if it was up to them, they would take away every single historical black college they could. And most of this shit stems from places like Florida and fucking Georgia. And they will tell you to stop calling them racist. They'll tell you that they're not a racist state. I have been to Georgia. I've been to Florida. I fucking hated it. Florida was kind of cool. People were cool. But I noticed all the people that were cool were Midwesterners that were on vacation. So, yeah, I lived in Florida for 8 days, moved right back to Chicago, literally drove 3 days because fuck that shit. There was nothing but meth heads asking me for meth or if I knew where to get meth. And I'm like, dude, I don't even know where to get weed here. I'm new here. So, yeah, seeing that... what's his name? Sylvester Stallone is now moving to Florida as if I give a fuck. But I got to see this on TV for some reason. And you have to see his stupid kids pretend to be like mad about it. I mean, you're all fucking whitewashed fucking rich people. I'm pretty sure you want to go to Florida so that way you can continue your bullshit racist lifestyle. Because, you know, LA is turning more and more blue, you know, by the second. And, oh, God, the wokeism. Maybe it's just us not being racist. When did just not being a fucking tool and a douchebag become its own label? I mean, you have to be something to be a label. Now you just have to not be something. It makes no fucking sense. And the reason why I bring up places like Georgia is because this happened in a high school. And, yeah, seeing that it's this day and age and still seeing this kind of fucking reaction and knowing that this is still within the same decade and we're still seeing shit like this.
It was a day Dante Lambert's family had been looking forward to for years. He was finally graduating high school. But the night of celebration turned into shock when the founder and director of TNT Academy, Nancy Gorduke, dismissed everyone early.
She forgot the final speech, so she dismissed us all at first. She told everybody to come back, and the parent got mad and told his child to come on.
According to witnesses, that's what started this rant.
Okay, so if you heard that correctly, the families were all told to leave. And then she goes, oh shit, I was supposed to tell a speech. So now she wants everyone to come back. So one family said, fuck this, let's go. And I bet you they all know that principal. They all hate that principal or whoever the fuck she is. I'm sure they probably know who she is. And they're like, hey, you got your diploma? Let's get the fuck out of here. We hate this place. And I mean, this is their graduation. This is a fucking, day they're supposed to never forget. And you just made it that much more memorable, but that much more infamous.
People are being so rude to not listen to this. You people are being so rude to not listen to this speech. It was my fault that we missed it in the program.
People walking out.
Look who's leaving, all the black people.
She definitely needs to get out of that field of being a teacher or...
Now, you see that? Do you see the uprise of the people in the front? All the black people, it was one fucking family that was walking out. It was probably a large black family. And that means it's all the black families, of course, right? Because it's the black people, according to Trump. It's the black people. Remember, there are no black people. It's the black people. You're all one. And this is the fucking reality behind holding a Trump sign and being black. You know, if you're in that crowd, and I've heard this from stories from people that they're separated from their families or friends because they have to go right up in the front. No, we want you up front because you're black, and we really need you to color in the fucking background because, yeah, it looks like an empty coloring book. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's a fucking dead black and white earth, and that's all they want.
Motivator, educational. She don't need to be doing that at all.
We stopped by
Could you
Cornude's
imagine
house,
that?
but her husband told us she was too emotionally drained to speak with us.
She was too emotionally drained. A terrible mistake on my part was part of the graduation ceremony on Friday night. The devil was in the house and came out from my mouth. I deeply apologize. The devil was in the house and came out from my mouth. These are not the words of a teacher of any fucking field. The devil was in the house and came out my mouth. Man, you need to stick that shit right back in your mouth because you are fucking full of it. That is a sad, sad, sad future. But it is entirely avoidable. And it is only when we do this together, it's only when we know that we have to do this, that maybe we can. But my point is that when we look around and we see the narrative in itself, the overall narrative that we're all supposed to follow, you're constantly being told two things: the hurry up and wait bullshit, and to say that America is not a racist country is simply glib. And if you believe that, just go to Georgia. And that's all you really need is go to Georgia and Florida, as they are, and Arizona are three of the states that are the worst of us. And it's pretty sad because the answer to this is for us to migrate there, right? The actual answer would be for us to migrate over there so we can change shit. But instead, it's going to turn into more like a prison rule, where instead everyone's just going to be booted out because they don't want to be there. And then for the rest of them, oh, well, you're not here because you ain't supposed to be. That's really, that's it. And honestly, when you look back at all this shit and you look at all the fucking female misrepresentation within the Bible, the lack of protection of anyone in the Bible, unless you had money, authority, and status, and to see that this is still mirrored in the future is showing you that we have come a long way and still have that much more to go until you motherfuckers catch up with us and put that childish book down. All right, love you guys. Thanks for all the support. I really appreciate all the shares and shit. So, yep, if you guys have anything to say, throw it in the comments. I will read them. All right, love you guys. Be safe, be free. I'll see you on the other side.
Welcome
Stay
to
cheesy.
Useless Agent. This program is not meant for children of any age. Enjoy my nightmares.
Stay cheesy.
Okay, let's do this.
Enjoy it. Stop crying. I'm just a city guy, living fly, getting high. Living till I die, getting by, whipping by. Staying solidified, big time to be precise. Here's your ticket, ride, follow when you feel my vibe. I'm just a city guy, living fly, getting high. Living till I die, getting by, whipping by. Staying solidified, big time to be precise. Here's your ticket, ride, follow when you feel my vibe.
Smile on your face. Nobody give a fuck about 40. Nobody remember 40, and y'all niggas is giving me way too many 40-degree days. What the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck?